Okay, guys. We will start with questions. And in order to warm you up, I want to start with the Maribel question. Last time she asked a question and I wasn't able to answer because it was a little bit out of topic. It was not really toward to 7 habits, and because I decided that we can do it later, but her question was very interesting. Does anybody remember her question? Let me share the screen and I will remind her question. Second meeting. And while we will talk about her, so this, we were talking about 3 philosophers. Do you remember? And we were talking about we are who we are. We are what we eat. We are what we repeatedly do, said Aristotle and the Buddha. And Maribel asked what to do with the people who think one thing and do the other thing. Is Maribel here? Yeah, unfortunately, she is not here. Very sad. It's okay. Is anybody can answer for this question?
What was the question, Alina?
So it was our meeting and we were discussing who we are. 3 different philosophers said 3 different things. German philosopher said Feuerbach that he said we are what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Aristotle, he said we are what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And the Buddha, not the Buddha, Buddha said we are what we think. And people took different approaches. Someone joined the first philosopher, the Aristotle. Personally, I give my voice to Buddha. And then Maribel said, okay, I don't agree with Buddha because what is about when people think one thing, but they do different thing?
Well, we can't really, we can't really do anything about what anyone else does. We can only really do things about ourselves.
Right, right. Not, for example, someone wants to do something bad, right? And he's thinking bad, but he's doing good. And why he's doing good? Because he's just afraid. So
right, but I mean, I can only really control my own actions. I can really only control what I do. So I can't really control other people or anything or tell them what to do.
Right, Brian. See, I don't talk that somebody controls somebody else. What I'm saying, one person, and he wants to do some, for example, he doesn't want to go to work. He wants to say bad to his boss, right? But he is going to work and he is very nice to his boss. And according to Buddha, we are what we think. But according to Aristotle, we are what we do. And here we see in one person, right, two things. Mm-hmm. He is thinking one thing, but he's doing the other thing. So who's right?
I say that it is. It seems like it's a contradiction, but the truth is, the things that we think about kind of dictate how we feel and then create habits on what we do. So it's not so much that I think negative thoughts, but if I continually have negative thoughts in my mind, I'm creating that to myself, that only negative things happen.
Beautiful.
But if you think positively and pick out the positive things that you like about your job with your example. You go to work because you want to get paid so that you can provide for your lifestyle, for example. So you try to focus on the positive things rather than, the negative about having to get up, get dressed, go to work when you're feeling bad. So I think it's really a combination of your thought process.
It's a good question, very good answer. You kind of give us what to do in that situation. So I appreciate, and I think everything is great what you said. Let's come back to the beginning. Who is right, Aristotle or Buddha? For that person who thinks one thing but does different thing.
You're not in sync with your body. I mean, you are, the term, you are what you eat, for example. I think all of them have a good point. I don't think one is wrong and one is right.
Let's go, and here you're right, but let's go more precise to that question. Is anybody else wants to add? It's not easy question, and there is please participate, guys, because there is no right or wrong answer. There is absolutely not. This is not a scientific discovery which I can say, well, this is exactly that. No, right now we are participating and we are trying to think. So please, anybody else wants to say before I will give my version of it?
I agree with Catherine. I think they're all right and you just figure out how it works for you in your life to be truthful in all of those areas.
That's absolutely right. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, in some sense, that, you can have conflicting thoughts.
Yes.
About things.
Very good.
And I mean, obviously, like the person you're alluding to, they may be thinking, okay, at times that they hate their job, right? But obviously, to a certain extent, they still go. Right. So in some sense, they're still in it. They may not like it, but I mean, you could have conflicting thoughts about things. It's just maybe just how you end up acting on it. If that, I don't know.
No, but whatever, anything what we are saying, it's from our experience and it's right. And if, for example, we will have different opinion, it doesn't mean that you are guys not right. Mm-hmm. You are right from your experience. Let me just give.
I look at it.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not even in here.
Yes, something very good.
I look at it from another standpoint.
Okay.
Okay. I think, therefore I am. Immanuel Kant said, I think, therefore I am. Okay. So our thinking makes us who we are.
Okay. Slightly different.
And Socrates said, they asked him why he was so smart. You may know this one. And he said, well, you all go around telling people how much you know. I tell you, I don't know anything.
Right. It's my favorite quote. I absolutely love it. Mm. The more I learn, the more I understand that I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Everybody said, guys?
There's one more thing I can add.
Richard,
is that, for example, that let's say somebody has a criminal intent or thoughts, but they never act on them. does that make him a criminal or a normal person? So it's an extreme case, but is that person what they think, or is he what he does?
What I say, I think your example is absolutely beautiful. How beautiful, not beautiful.
Well,
They are,
the only,
but very do not. Thank you, Richard. You will help me right now to give a very powerful example, on your example, explanation. Based on your example, what can I say? He is going to work. He doesn't do any criminal activity. In our world, who he is? Absolutely normal. Because we are living in material world and we don't know what the person is. Because for us, he is fine. But what is about for spiritual world? What is about in front of God? He cannot hide his thoughts. What does it mean? That he forgot he's a criminal. Because for God, it doesn't matter what he's doing. So this, I think, what's the difference?
So spiritually speaking, your thoughts are much more important. But since we live in a material, physical world, for us, Aristotle is what we see.
If we go to that extreme duality, how Catherine said, she said that thoughts are forming us. And if he will have for a long period of time his criminal thoughts, finally the thoughts will bring him to us. So
Sorry, Douglas. I was just going to add, I guess it, in some sense, you know, I think it also depends on what, you know, like if I'm talking about myself, right, which is the only person I can really like physically tell what my thoughts are, or really, you know, or really understand if I do understand my own thoughts. You know, I can talk about myself and I can judge myself, but I don't know anything about what you're thinking. And I don't know anything about that. So from that perspective, I can only see your actions. You know, I can only look at you, like your actions and stuff, and I have no idea about what your thoughts are, what your motivations are, or anything. All I can see is how you're acting. So if I'm judging somebody else, I can only judge them based on their actions. I can ascribe like what I think is causing it or whatever, and judge that if I want, but I don't know, like I can't really know what's going on with you. So like I can judge myself, I can say like I have criminal intentions or whatever, and I can talk about that, but that's kind of a different conversation. So I guess it depends maybe in some sense on who we're talking about, whether we're talking about ourselves or whether we're talking about somebody else. Because I can't judge what you're at, why you're doing something. I can only see what you're doing.
exactly, Brian. And we are talking about ourselves. And here, through the whole our meetings, we will learn about ourselves, and we will change and judge only ourselves. We don't worry, we don't need to think about other actions, we don't need to judge the other people. Here we are only ourselves. And you know that, and our presentation was that change yourself, and then you will be able to change the whole world. Any other questions? Okay, guys, anybody did homework? Okay, we will go to that. Let's refresh what we had, and then it would be much easier, and I'm sure you will remember something. So do you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah, now I do.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I will keep it simple, and we'll keep it like this. Actually, I can slideshow. No, I won't do it. Okay, we were talking about, first we were talking about real knowledge versus information. Is anybody remembers what is that?
Well, information is kind of like, you know, stuff you gather, basically. It's, and knowledge is what you make of the information or ideas or whatever.
Right, and how do you do from information, how you transfer it to knowledge? And what's the difference between knowledge and information?
That would be you perform some action, which then creates knowledge. Sort of like what these two philosophers are alluding to, and Buddha may, in Buddha's case, it sounds like information, and in Aristotle's case, it sounds like knowledge.
Okay, okay. Yes, we will come back to your opinion. Very good. Can we say, go ahead, Catherine.
I was just going to add that information, when you gather information, you are creating or observing the knowledge. I mean, you gain knowledge by the information that you gather.
So how did it happen? It's boiling inside of our head, so it's going automatically. So you just can put any knowledge, any information, and it's sorted by itself. How is it going?
You gather information from whatever resources you have, whether that is by talking with other people or researching online or doing your own individual, even reading research. And then once you gather that research, you now have a knowledge about the subject matter that you've investigated.
Okay, okay. Anybody else?
I think it's, you know, once you gather all of that information and you try living it and you figure out the, you know, what you end up figuring out then becomes knowledge.
Yes, yes, Trisha, thank you very much. So you have to do something with that, because if we put in our heads just information, it will stay information. You can be very informative, but this is not knowledge. Do you remember what we were talking? That knowledge should lead a human or a person to change. Information doesn't change a person. Information and just information. But knowledge should change a person. And this is very important moment. And we will come back what Richard said. So information, and Trisha also was very, very good adding. So first it's information. And then through action, it becomes knowledge. But this is again for the material world, right? Where we can get information from our friends, our relatives, Google, books. This is all material information. How is about, is it information or knowledge, what we are taking from Holy Scriptures? Something like Bible, Quran, Veda. What is that?
I would say it's information because I believe everyone kind of has their own belief on how to live their life correctly in their eyes, happily and everything. So when you get all that information, it's like there's Christianity, Catholic, Buddhism, all those different things. What actually resonates with you? And then that becomes your knowledge to you.
I see what you mean. However, I was asking about holy scriptures. So what the Bible, Quran, Veda, is it information, is it a book of information or it's a book of knowledge?
It's a book of information because everybody has a different belief system.
It's what they, when they read that, it's what they think, what they put in their heads. It's, yes, different beliefs. However, guys, holy scriptures are going from God, and this is knowledge. Where is all knowledge coming? From what we transfer in our heads, yes, it's coming knowledge, but it's our knowledge, on a human level knowledge. But the Bible and all holy scriptures, it's pure knowledge. And okay, let's go in from the beginning. Do you remember how we said that first is going information, then action, and then knowledge? How is about if, for example, I'm reading a holy scripture, I'm reading Veda, or I'm reading Bible. This is knowledge. So I don't need to do anything. Just read Bible and you will be changed. This is slightly different, but again the same. When we read holy scriptures, we receive knowledge. And then in order to be changed, we need to do, we need to act. For example, I'm learning about humility. I'm learning about how to be humble. And that knowledge changed me right away into my heart. But in order to be more humble, I need to practice it, I need to do. So this is just a little bit different, but they see still the same. Information, action, knowledge, and we will be changed. Of course, changed for better. If we are going to holy scriptures, it would be knowledge. We will be then act, and then we will be changed again to knowledge. Okay. So, anybody wants to add anything?
So if you're a knowledgeable person, can you pass on that knowledge to others?
The first words was, I didn't understand because was not good connection. Can you repeat, Richard, please?
Yes, if you're a knowledgeable person, can you pass your knowledge to other people?
Of course, of course. You can pass information as well, right? You can pass everything to the people. Thank you for the question. So, and we were talking about personality ethic, and we were talking about character ethic. Is anybody can say whatever you remember about it or what you got from it?
Can you repeat
keywords-
that? I didn't understand what you said. What?
We were talking about personality ethic and character ethic. Remember, it's Mr. Covey noticed that 200 years ago, the base of success with integrity, justice, courage, humility, compassion, responsibility. This was the base of success. The shift occurred and the base of success became personality ethic. And you see its attitude, public image, and personality. So what is better? And what do you think about it? Is it a good change or was it before better?
These are the things that Covey referred to as inside and outside. And he referred to the inside out method.
What your approach? And we were talking about, what does it mean inside out approach?
You focus on sort of building your character and yourself, and then you let, instead of focusing on, I guess the difference would be is if you try to change other people or try to change circumstances, thinking that will help you improve your situation, is sort of outside in, and then inside out would be focusing on your personality and the way you view things and stuff like that, and sort of improving on that. I guess a good example would be if you were married and you were having a problem with your wife, or in my case would be a wife. If I wanted to improve it, I'd be from the outside in, I'd be like focusing on how to change her. But the inside out would be to focus on how I could change me and improve the situation by changing myself.
Very beautiful answer. Anybody else? Your answer, Brian, probably was so deep and thoughtful that we don't have any adding. I personally cannot add anything what you said. So it's how you said, inside out. So everything should go from us. So what is should go in from us? Justice, responsibility, courage, changing. So in fact, guys, everything is going from us. Let me ask you a question. We have our surroundings, right? Like everything, where we live, our friends, even let's even take the society where we live. What do you think, who is the part of whom? We are a part of our society, or society is part of us? So we are, or for example, me, I am the part of society around me. I don't know, let's take 1 mile around, something like that. No, maybe it's too much. It's not really important. So I am the part of society, or society is part of me. Please, guys.
Going with the inside out approach, you might say that I am part of society.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other opinion, or who is, if you keep silence, it means you support what Richard said?
I support what Richard said.
Okay. Thank you, Niall. Welcome.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, I was picking up my mom.
That's fine. That's fine. Guys, no, at least one more. I've heard 2 voices. Please start to participate. I ask you, without participation, you will be not, it wouldn't be easy to understand. We need to talk. We need to express our opinion. What's going on? When we keep silence, we are coming with our opinion and we are living with the same opinion. But if you are saying, I don't know, the other people will say their opinions and you will see, wow, I was right, or wow, I wasn't right, but I like that opinion. So we can grow with it. One more, please. Okay, guys, then I'll tell you my opinion, okay? This is not exactly my opinion. This opinion was brought from Holy Scriptures. So society is a part of me, not I am as a part of society. And do you know why? Because, guys, we are the biggest resource. And we need to understand that we are the whole, and everything what is around me is continuation of me. Let's start with me. I will be a guinea pig today. So what is on me? Clothes. Who created it? I bought it. I choose it, right? In the place where we live, where I live, who created it? I choose this place. Food, what I eat, books, what I read. Okay, my friends, who found those friends to me? Somebody else? No, I found those friends. Let's see our relatives. Okay, I understand. We cannot choose relatives, but we can choose how close we are to them, how much we are participating in their lives, right? Because we are not only physical body, what we do. We also creating our reality with our thoughts. And everybody is living different. Somebody is living happy, the other is living unhappy. One is envy, the other is generous. One has a lot of friends, the other have little friends, not few friends. It's for me, it was fascinating when I figured out that society is a part of me, and it's what I create. Society is my continuation. And we create everything. We create any situation in our lives. We create all problems. We create our health and unhealth. We create our diseases and healthy life. Because in everything what we are doing, there is a personal beginning. So let's see what Mr. Covey thinks about it. Anybody can read? Please. Who would like to read?
I would like to read. Where are we reading? Right here. I am not a product of circumstances. I am a product of my decision.
So it seems to me that Mr. Covey thinks the same. Did this his expression, did it become at least more easy to understand for me personally? Why I'm asking that question? I read it 20 years ago, and I think, oh yeah, wonderful. But I didn't get it much as I read the Holy Scriptures and what I shared with you. His quote comes for me much more clear. So on Wiki, it's so discussed very well. So if you want to change the world, start with yourself. I don't know what I also want to. First point and first step. It seems like it's okay. So we know that, but it's very important. Is anybody thought why is that so difficult? Remember, we were talking about that the first point we need to understand that our vision is determined by our previous experience. And Brian made an example when people are quarreling. Both of them are quarreling because they are talking from their experience. And both of them are right, but they are right from their experience. And the first step to admit it. So why the first step is so difficult? Is anybody noticed that? Is anybody try to look at this situation in your life?
Well, I know I have. I've been thinking about that a lot, actually. That this very trying to come to grips with this first point, I think. I've been really trying to figure that out. Trying to figure out how to. I think for myself, when I look back at a lot of things I've done, I think definitely I wouldn't have thought of it that way at the time, but I definitely sort of had a, that somehow or another things were that I couldn't change them. I couldn't change what I was doing or whatever. And I think it took a long time to sort of start to think, well, maybe it's, maybe coming to grips with the idea that I control a lot of that. I control it. Well, sorry. No, it's just very difficult to come to that realization, if you will.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree. And is any little help for that? Because we cannot, yesterday we were right all the time, and from today we will start to feel, oh, I am not perfect, so probably I'm wrong. No, it's not. Mr. Kobe do not ask us to jump to the other extreme. Where is that balance? Or at least for us, it would be the first step. With that understanding that we are not the most perfect, what is a helping point? What can help us?
I think it's just
Well-
not blaming and shaming ourselves as we go through things. I mean, you're not going to do everything perfectly, but I think when you do make a mistake that you consider a mistake, is how could you have done it differently, and not look at the other person. If you see something that you didn't like that somebody else did that you think has created the problem, you can look at what they did and understand, you know, maybe why they did it, and change your perspective of the situation, plus change your reaction. You're only in charge of your reaction of what somebody does to you, or the situation that happens to you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Trisha. So can I conclude, and it was from our previous presentation, what would be the helping point? It's be humble. It's our humility. For me, it was a helpful step, like the first step from what I need to start. From my birth, I'm a fire, and I love to argue. I love to have a hot conversation, great conversation, and I'm especially also Russian. I like to be on that everybody would join my opinion. I loved it. And I couldn't figure out how can I admit that I'm not perfect? Because I know so much, and I see when the other person is wrong, I see it. And this was my turning point when I become to think that really maybe I'm not the most perfect, because I need to be humble. This is the first step. And this also point, if I see that somebody is wrong, maybe I don't see for myself, because you cannot see a piece of log in your own eyes, in your own eye, but you see a piece of dust in somebody else's eye, right? And that was for me a turning point, that if I see somebody is wrong, maybe somebody sees that I'm wrong. And I actually forceful, absolutely forceful. It's not like I realize this. This is what is this? The first step. It's information. How to turn this into knowledge. I need to start to act like that. Otherwise, it would be just knowledge. Sorry, it would be just information, and that's it. And after that, I started forcefully, and my body is screaming. My body wants to shout, because the person starts to talk, and I know already what he wants or she wants to say. But I forcefully put myself, I am not the most perfect. Lena, please be humble.
I think, getting to the, I guess, comment on the question of maturity, which you sort of asked about last time. I think there's also being introduced to something at the right time. You sort of reach the right level of maturity or whatever to sort of, kind of what you were saying, Lena, about how you had seen this 20 years ago, and you watched it and you went through it and everything, but you probably weren't at the right, like your level of maturity might have not been right, or the time wasn't right to actually, to really begin to appreciate and understand what was going on. And it sort of takes, you just sort of grow to the point where it makes, resonates, if you will.
I agree. It can be completely the point. And also sometimes in our life, I'm adding, I completely agree with your opinion. However, also Like we don't have only one exit. We have many, many exits. We don't have only one way. We have many ways. And I can only add that sometimes we are turning into our own way. And we can go long until we come back to the point. And how to go right away to the point? Is any suggestions? Because how does it happen that some people is going straight to the, to the success, right? And success can be different for any person. It can be material success, it can be spiritual success, it can be family, health, it doesn't matter. But some people going right to the point, and some people is going very long way. And of course, right now, sorry, Trisha, I can say how Brian said, he's completely right. So let's don't repeat that and say something else.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I think, some people move faster through each challenge because of partly maybe how they were raised, or they had a good mentor growing up that they trusted. And because I didn't have that, but opposite of you, I didn't feel like I knew everything. I thought I knew nothing. So it was a challenge for me to actually trust my own opinion and intuition. So ever since I was a kid, I just watched everybody and listened to everybody's opinion until it resonated with me. So
beautiful, Trisha. I can only say that you were wiser than me. I was too arrogant probably for my time. I had many businesses. I was very successful. I was arrogant and you were more wise. And also I want to mention Nael. He mentioned also the same story that Noel, would you like to say?
Can you repeat that again, Lena? I'm sorry.
Yes, I read in our conversation that you mentioned that you had a problem in younger ages, and then you met a mentor.
Correct. Correct. So when I had got out of boot camp, I had met a mentor that had pretty much told me that I needed to start being a leader and not following other people's footsteps, because a lot of people spend their whole life working just to, make someone else's dream possible. And then I need to start living the other way around, to be the one to make my dreams and let other people work for me.
Beautiful, thank you. So thank you everyone, where everything was very deep and very thoughtful. Thank you. So, and using the situation, I really want to say this is important, especially for guys. Girls, we are more lucky. We can talk to a lot of people. We can talk to our friends, we can talk to our girlfriends, we can talk to our husbands, we can talk to our men, we can share with them, we can ask their advice. However, for guys, the situation is more difficult. They cannot, the real man cannot share his problems with his wife. He can, but as a joke, a real man should say to girls, to his wife or to his girl, only 3 things. Do you want to know which?
I love you.
And you are very close. First, how beautiful you are, how much I love you, and what I will do for you. Or these 3 things real man should share with woman, with his woman. But he also need a mentor. He also need a person whom he will ask a question, to whom he will go and they open his heart. And for that, it's only mentor. And preferably older, and of course, a person who he respects. So, okay, it was a little bit out of our topic. So let's and we will softly go to probably our maturity as the last topic. My question, why it's so difficult to change yourself? I can tell you right away, it's almost one of the most difficult tasks. Why?
It's very, well, I found it to be difficult because I spend my time wanting to help everybody else and I stopped forgetting to help myself out.
Okay. Is anybody
That's
else? I'm thinking what you said, Noel.
I think a lot of it is fear of what other people are going to think of you. And
I
so
totally agree.
yeah, are you going to lose your friends? Are you going to lose your family? Are you going to, I mean, yeah, I mean, everybody judges you, especially when you're ready to change. It scares them. So the first thing they do is put you down so that you don't move up.
And they criticize you.
Okay, okay. Anybody else? Guys, please, I will wait a little bit. I wondered anybody would else participate. We have 16 people. I think it was, I don't check because for me, the most important our conversation. Please, anybody else? The question, why change yourself is so difficult?
Well, I would add, I guess, from a little different perspective is, I think it's hard to change yourself, partly because it's harder to determine, well, you can't look outside of yourself, right? You can't,
Mhm.
well, you can, and I mean, it's a skill you can probably learn, I think, but in a lot of ways, we like most of us don't, right? We're sort of trapped within ourselves. And it's really hard to sort of change something until you really begin to see that it's a problem, you know, and it's like, until you see that something's a problem or it needs to be changed, you'll keep doing it. You sort of fall into your habits and stuff like that. And you do things, and unless someone says to you, hey, you're doing that again, a lot of times you won't even realize it. You won't even realize that you're doing something. And so, I mean, that gets very difficult to actually change, partly because a lot of times when you're trying to do the change, either someone else doesn't care, you know, maybe no one else is going to direct you. You have to do it yourself. Sorry, I'm just going on, but I mean,
you are completely right. I completely support your opinion. It's what we were talking about paradigm. So Brian was talking about Mr. Covey's version of this problem, paradigm. And what is paradigm? Paradigm, guys, is a system of values or beliefs. And the problem is that they are so little and it's so deep inside of us that we don't see it. And this is why we are here. We will see it. After practice, after we will start to learn the first habit, we will be able to dig deep and figure out. How about yourself? You know that a little bit, Eddie, we have always inside of us two voices, right? But not three. No, I don't know if three voices, it will be a problem. So I hope you have two voices. And usually one voice is saying, I want this, the other voice is saying, no, don't do it, or no, so versa versa, you know what is going on. Who those two voices? To whom they belong? It's nice to know the difference, which voice responsible for
I
which.
think one is your ego, you know, what you want, you know, what you're necessarily what you want. And then you have your intuition, so you're battling like what is true and living your true self and what the society says you want. Your ego is like society and intuition is like your true self.
Okay, you're very, very, very right. So say a little bit easier and include everything what you said, because ego is what? It's our body. And true self, intuition, it's what? It's our spirit. So basically, two voices inside of us are talking. It's our body voice. And what is body, guys? Body, it's a matter, right? And what is matter? Matter is usually pretty clumsy and inertial. And what is body? What is matter always look to do? Of course, body looks for comfort. Body looks for eating, for enjoying, for satisfying, for pleasure. And this is our body is talking. Lay down and don't worry, everything will be fine. Don't do it, you can overwork. I will be tired. Who is that voice who is saying, no, you have to do that. No, this is not right. No, this is wrong. This is bad for you. Do that, it will be better for you. It's our spirit, guys. So it's always spirit and body talking inside of us. So, and see with whom you are. So who is winning? Who is winning the battle? Your body or your spirit? An interesting thing, one philosopher said, he was not sure, and his name is Viktor Frankl. Probably you've heard a very pretty famous man's search for meaning. And he said very interesting thing, to be human is to go beyond yourself. And what is interesting thing, that people think that if they will be in their comfort zone, they won't have stress. You will be completely surprised, including me, to figure out that real stress a person experiences when he closed in his world and cannot go beyond it. Complete opposite. Yes, no, we talked, and what we need habits, we need three things: skills, knowledge, and desire. And we talk about that a habit cannot be formed if you, for example, have a desire and have knowledge, but you survive. I don't need to bring right now to these circles or these two circles. So we need to have all these three circles. But don't worry, when we will start our habits, we will discuss everything. Everything is necessary. And this while I will think. Yes, we are. We were talking about three things that help us change the paradigm. And we talk already today a lot about humility. And right now we will talk about listening. We were talking about listening maturity. What is that?
Something difficult to do.
Very good question. I posted that on our WhatsApp. I was fascinated with this listening maturity. Is anybody tried to implement it in any of your conversation? At least partially. We need. I will tell for myself. I'm trying. I cannot say for how long, but I'm still very, very far away from the say that I'm doing that. This is already my habit. According to psychology, if you want to change a habit, it will take you 30-40 days. However, not just remembering of it, but forcefully do it and remembering about it every single, I don't know, minute, hour, whatever, but not once a day. So if we will start to do it, we will have some results in 30 days. But if we won't start to do it, nothing will happen. And for our new people, I will just quickly refresh what is that. So further, we will talk about Formula of Maturity by Mr. Covey. Very, very famous and very thoughtful. However, there is exists listening maturity, because we know how listening is important. And I always heard about it. It's already become like cliche. Oh, yes, I know, listening is important. But what to do, how to access it, I didn't know until I didn't come across with this listening maturity. So first we have a desire to listen, right? Because we are going to the conversation, and if we want to only talk and don't have a desire, the whole 7 steps wouldn't happen. Then the second, after we have a desire, we need to try to hear. We need to try to hear what the person is saying, because we want to say. And we cannot wait until the person will stop to talk, because we already ready to say him what we want to say. After that, it's still not enough. For me, before I knew this listening maturity, for me, 2 steps were it's everything what I knew about listening. But exists the 3rd step. We need to now try to understand what the person is saying. And this is already effort. But 4th step is even greater. Remember something. So we are listening and we are trying to remember. What is remembering? It means we need to repeat inside of us. What sometimes happens, and very often, and even with me, I hear what the person said, and I already know the answer. And I stop listening him till the end, or her. But in the second part, the person can clarify what he wants to say, and it can change his first point, or I might understand, because listening the first part, I might understand wrong. So, and while I will try to remember, I will follow him through. And then the 5th, my favorite, continue what the person said. Why? Why we need to continue what the person said?
As a way of showing that we understood.
Right, Trisha?
And also that, you know, they can see that we are listening to them. Like if you're back part of what they say, they feel heard.
Beautiful, Eddie.
And
Go ahead, Brian.
if in you telling a person, you know, what they were trying to explain, they can say, well, wait a minute, that's not what I meant. You know, they can, in sort of saying, explaining, sorry.
You're absolutely right, because it's what I wanted to say. Yes, thank you, Brian. You wanted to say that to really understand, because we can be wrong. We can understand a person wrongly. And
yeah, and I guess what I was going to say is that if the listener says what they hear, then the person who is speaking can respond and say, well, wait a minute, that's not quite what I meant. And sort of
Yes.
you can find a better understanding that way too.
Yes, everybody was right. Thank you. And only in number 6, in the 6th step, you can say your opinion. What a work. And 7 is beautiful. The 2 opinions are divine. And usually what we are doing, we are trying to push our opinion. At least I try.
Yeah, I think I do too. I do a lot.
I don't give my opinion. A lot of times what I do is I try to give them kind of an example of how I've as well experienced that, maybe in a different, you know, most likely in a different way, but a similar feeling, so they feel not alone.
Beautiful, beautiful, Trisha. Guys, I cannot don't share with you. Let me share with you the difference. And it doesn't matter, believe you or don't believe in the spiritual world, but the quote is very beautiful. So what do you think the difference between our world, and we can call it a material world, and spiritual world? Not, for example, where God is living in the, let's call it spiritual world, and our world. What's the difference? For example, if we will say what very close something to listening. But it's very vague question. Yes, I agree. It's not possible to answer because the answer can be vague. So let me just to share with you. When we are having a conversation, we try to pull our opinion on somebody else. We try to win. I challenge you. And when the conversation, do you know that in a spiritual world, they have also different opinions, and they also can maybe argue. But however, when somebody else in a spiritual world hear different opinion, he's saying, really? You have a different opinion? That's so wonderful. You know God from different side, which I don't know. That's so great. Please share with me what you know, what I don't know. And this is the difference between a material conversation and spiritual conversation. We are too competing in our lives. And sometimes we spend so much to show people, I'm better than you. See what I have, you don't have that, or how beautiful I am, you are not. We really spending our energy for that. We will come back to this in our formula of maturity, and we'll continue that. Where is our formula of maturity? Also, before our maturity, 3 conditions. Duration, it's what we need. We have to remember about these guys. Now, this is very, very easy. Duration, you know that don't expect something fast. Don't expect immediate results, because we are working on ourselves. We are changing ourselves. We were talking how difficult is that. Nothing good happen quickly. Bad is quickly, right? I'm lazy. In this moment, I'm lazy. But if I want to change myself, it's effort. Everything good is effort. Good character, effort, time. Kindness, effort, time. And everything, the rest is the same. Continuity,
Thank you,
please, every day. Every day we need to.
Thank you, Lena. That was very well put.
Yes, yes, no.
I said, thank you, Lena. That was very well put.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to discuss just very briefly consciousness. I was thinking about it, and while I understand it, just today I had a new level of understanding of that. We were talking that consciousness, it's awareness. Awareness of what we are doing. And it's also awareness of what we are doing every single minute. Why all philosophies, all religions are asking us, please live in a perfect present moment. Why? Because this is only one moment what we have. And only in this moment we can change ourselves as we want. Only in this moment we can enjoy this moment. Because what is past? Past we cannot change. What is the future? Future can never happen. Yes, of course, we need to plan the future. I don't say don't so stop only this perfect moment. We have to plan the future, but how long does it take it? Half an hour, 1 hour? Okay, 1 hour per day, every single day. Is it enough to plan your future? Completely enough. And the rest, we need to live in our perfect moment. But today, I was having a breakfast, and I noticed that I even don't feel what I'm eating. I'm thinking about my husband, I'm thinking about my daughter, I'm thinking about the meeting, I'm thinking about what I need to do in a home. And you know, if we are living fully, even the food will digest better. If the food digests better, what is happening? We got more vitamins, we got more minerals, and blah, 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 blah. I guess you got the point. I don't need to tell everything. We are just healthier. We are happier. Everything we are having a shower, just feel that beautiful and the water which you made how you like. Feel how it's going on your body. I was walking on the beach. What can be more beautiful? Of course, I'm enjoying for a couple minutes. And then I'm in my thoughts, I'm doing something and I even don't notice the beauty which got made around us. And from these little steps, the habit will be formed. Not only we need to form our habit and be conscious when we start to do and think about 7 habits. This can start right away, right in this perfect moment.
You know, though. Sorry.
And finally, guys, yes, we are in the formula of maturity. I absolutely love it. Anybody, any thoughts about our formula, please?
Well, I was going to say, I thought your formula was missing something.
Tell, please.
Well, I think you also need practice. I think it needs I forget because what I mean is that if you want to change, like for instance, for me, like I know in certain circumstances I tend to get like really angry, if you will, and if I want to change that, either I walk away, part of changing the way I act and everything. Forget it. Never mind.
Which formula you mean? Formula of maturity or listening maturity?
I guess I was referring to the change, the previous slide there, when you were talking about change. The what you need to change, and I was saying, never mind.
I think you're right. No, I think you're right, Brian. I think what you're talking about is it was sort of on there meaning continuance, because you need to continue watching your pattern on how you react. And yeah, you always, I remember one time I was having the huge problem with this deckhand, and every time he would come at me, it didn't matter how I reacted, it would end like, how would you react? I don't know how to keep this a calm situation. And in the end, I found out it didn't matter at all how I reacted. For him, he was always going to react exactly the same way. He was going to swear at me, whatever he was going to do. But what ended up being the right answer for me was when my reaction was, I felt good when I walked away. So I think you're right. It's continuance, I believe, like figuring out what is the right way of your reaction.
Kind of, I think, kind of what I was trying to get at. Go on. Go on, Lena. Go on.
No, when 3 microphones are on, the background echo, and very difficult to hear. Okay, Brian, you can say what you wanted.
Well, I wanted to what I was sort of thinking about is like my situation right now, where like before I used to be in a more public situation, right? Where I was working, I was working and everything in public and stuff like that. And there was a lot of situations there where I was in conflict with other people and stuff. And part of my realization over the last few years has been that I put myself in bad situations and things like that. And I started a lot of the conflicts and things. But what I was trying to get at is that, okay, over the past couple of years, mainly I've been living it very isolated, very alone, right? And I can sit here and think about like change, like changing myself, right? I can think about all that stuff. I can write down and say, I'm going to be, you know, a better person, all that kind of stuff. But it's not until I'm actually in those situations, and it's not until I actually put myself out there and challenge myself with that, that I really can change that at all. Like I can sit there and think about it. I can say, oh, I'm going to change all this kind of stuff. I can become conscious of it, but it's not until I actually go out and try to get the experience that I can actually do any, that maybe I'm not changed at all. You know, maybe I'm really just the same as I always was. And that's sort of what I meant, is that
Absolutely right.
you need to have that aspect of actual experience to see the change.
Absolutely.
However you end up acting, you need the experience to see the change. If you just talk about it in theory or whatever, you can talk about it all you want, but you're not going to change anything.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with you. Trisha, thank you very much for your thoughtful adding. Yes, who is the most perfect people? Let me go a little bit quicker. We have 5 minutes and we need to cover formula of maturity. Of course, people who is living alone. Why? Because they have a problem. They come home and they talk to themselves. They say, I had that problem and he was right in our mind. Yeah, of course, he was wrong. I was right. And that, and that, and that, and that. So, and only when we are with people, first it's family. When we were perfect and then we got married and the problem started to go outside, right? So, and this is the first level when we are grow. So through the family, we actually grow. And the third level, when we will start right now talk about our formula of maturity, it's interdependence. So it's where we are already, it's very difficult and more difficult to voluntarily to go into this level and still remain free, creative, and respectful to others, and respect somebody else's freedom, respect somebody else's creativity, and be respectful to all of them and invest in others. And this is the highest level of human development. And if we will start from dependence, what is this? Why those people, how they are different? Who remember?
Independent people think that others are the solution to their problems.
Yes, Richard, right. We started from children, and children are naturally dependent, right? And this is normal. They are completely dependent from us in everything. But you notice that some people, unfortunately, didn't grow up, and they're still continue. You owe me, it's because of you. I had not good parents, it's because of my mother, it's because of my father, it's because of my country, it's because of my neighbor, right? So they're blaming everything and everybody's around. So, and they actually have some certain premise. Happiness for them, it's everything what they want. So they think that everything should revolve around them. And don't know why they're little, it's actually fun. They're little, cute, very, very cute, very nice. And it's okay when parents around them revolving, right? But some of them have beards and they still think the same. And our next level is independent level. We can feel only sad. It's not good thing to say, but kind of, you need to understand that people in dependent level are unhappy. They can demand, they are actually very demanding, but they are not unhappy, they are not happy. We need just to know about it and don't be like judgmental to them. Oh, I know where you are. You're saying that everything is somebody else's fault. You're dependent. No, we need to feel for them. And I don't know, somehow help. No, this is not our conversation about it. We just need to know some. Right now, I'm giving you just information. That person from dependent level has to go to independent level. And if we will look at our spiritual tower, it's a passion level, and the good are in this level. We are independent and we become more happy. And by the way, I think live by principle of myself, for myself, it's pretty easy. Of course, there is some responsibility already, because usually people at that level, they are responsible. But still, it's fine and it's more enjoyable. However, we were talking already about interdependent level or grace level, where people are voluntarily go into this level, where we are all together. And if this is, remember, we are perfect because we are talking to ourselves in independence level. We can be already in families and the problems starting to show up. And this will be even more problem. And it's much more challenging, but only here, only in this level, we can be completely happy. Guys, it's 6:30. We are on time. I want to tell you that congratulations. What this I want to, something with my computer a little bit slow, sorry for that. So we prepared for our 7 habits. Congratulations, we will start to learn first habit. What does it mean to be proactive? Let me leave you the same homework. So I will post it on WhatsApp for who doesn't want to be on WhatsApp chat. I will just tell you our previous homework. Please try to figure out in which level you are, at least how much you can. For that, Mr. Covey suggests for 3 days, try to write down your expressions, what you are talking. And let me quickly remind to you, on dependent level, we are saying, this is because of you, this is because of my parents, this you owe to me, I'm offended because of you did it to me, you looked at me, you did it to me. So everything is blaming somebody else. It doesn't matter what, human, person, or government, or weather, or midwife was problem when you were born, so doesn't matter. Next level, independent. The change verbal expressions are different. That's me. I am responsible. Let me think about it. I will try to fix it. I will fix it. I know, or I will try. And the third expression, interdependent level, we are. We can. We will do it. We are together. Please don't be so hard on yourself. And if you feel hurt one expression and this is not from the level you want to be, it's not who you are. We are a mix. We are a mix of all 3 levels. But you can see where you are the major, where your expression is the major. And I tell you, if you will try to just hear, it might not work. Try to write it down and analyze, and we will work on it. And the next homework, it's our listening maturity. Let me come back to that. And so try this. Try to implement. Read again if you want to make a note or make a screenshot or photo. It's fun. I promise to you, it's fun. I'm lucky enough, I have my husband with whom we can practice together. But if you don't, please don't come and say, Mr. Clovis said that we need to do this. Since now you will, when I'm talking, you will listen to me, try to understand, remember, and blah, blah, blah. So you, every single meeting, we will start with ourselves and we will do everything for ourselves. For today, that's all. Is anybody wants to add something? Always welcome your opinion or what you want to say.
I just want to say thank you so much and have a great night.
Thank you, Trisha. And if you want to share what you learned, what you were, something new, or please also welcome. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And I look forward to see all of you next Monday at 5. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful and relaxing evening.